the Governor General of our country performed, most of it, some of which you have just heard. Suffice it to say, no law is officially passed until it has been signed by the Governor General. Also, as we have just heard, the Governor General is responsible for the swearing in of the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice, all cabinet ministers, judges, Commissioner of Police, and Commodore of the Defense Force. Now, as in the case of the other Governors General, in my official post, I also received many courtesy calls, especially from the diplomats of many countries associated with the Bahamas. There was a constant flow of visitors to the Government House, especially school children, class of which usually came every single week. When I assumed office as Governor General in 1995, I decided that I wanted to devote my tenure to the upliftment and motivation of the school children of the Bahamas. And I now think, on reflection, that my childhood as a boy living in Grantstown, just below Government House, which I was unable to visit in those days, prepared me to want all young Bahamians to be able to experience the rarity of visiting the highest and most prestigious office in our land. And so, in my official capacity, I visited most of the schools in the country. In fact, I made it one of the designs of my tenure. And I visited every single one in New Providence, and practically all in the family islands. And I also invited the school children to visit Government House. And so, when I was about to retire, I realized that I had not visited Rumkey. It was the single island in the country which the Governor General had not visited. And so, with the assistance of the Defense Force, I was able to arrange a visit to the single school located on Rumkey during the last week of my tenure. It was a great pleasure and a privilege for me, when serving as Governor General, not only to receive diplomats, high officials, and even school children, but also to visit every single family island in the country. And I made an official visit to each, thereby helping to foster a sense of national unity and national identity by the preservation of our institutions and traditions. It has been my honor and privilege and a great pleasure to serve in such a high post in our country. And it is my hope that this little boy from over the hill they call Tiny brought an openness of honor, dignity, and decorum to the People's House on top of the hill. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all. You're always so good. Thank you very much. Okay, I'd also like to welcome the families of these esteemed people here. So just wave all the families of these people here tonight. Don't be shy. Thank you very much for being here. I'd also like to welcome my husband, the Secretary to the Cabinet. Hi, Randall. Thank you all for being here. Okay, we'll now have the Honorable Arthur Hanna. As I said, when I went to Government House, he was a stand-up comic. He knew so much history, but he always made it very funny. So you're in the right place to make that history funny tonight. So please just welcome the Honorable Arthur D. Hanna.
Thank you very much. I will do that what I was supposed to. But I thought it said something about what was it now, right? Anyway, it says something that they want to know how my life was at the open house. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Now I know. But I tell you, the first thing I did was to, when I do it at any occasion, is to see exactly what my powers were. So I looked at the I looked at the Constitution, and I found that I had certain powers. One of the powers, of course, is I can appoint prime ministers, as I think somebody said earlier. What they didn't say, I also have the power to fire. And that is correct. If I fire prime minister, it's fired. But of course, that means you must have another election. And that has happened that has happened before. I think the Governor General of this afternoon, the Governor General, I think one of the seven countries.
Australia.
Yes. Right. And of course, he fired the Prime Minister. Of course, the election is to be held. Because once the election is to be held, of course, then of course the first thing the Prime Minister did when he got elected was to fire the just after Her Majesty the Queen to appoint somebody else. So that is one of the first powers that I found that I had. And of course I noticed that no one else had that you could fire the Prime Minister. Well, mind you, sometimes too, sometimes it's misunderstood as the functions of a Governor General. A Governor General, in the case of the same people, really certain powers rest with the Governor General. One of them, I think, is an event, for instance, if the Prime Minister wants to fire the Commissioner of Police, then he is secured. That is taken out of his hand and handed into the hands of the Governor General. The Governor General then, the procedures there, it's quite clear. He finds, select judges. He takes it out of the hands of the Prime Minister completely. He takes upon judges who will, these judges, of course, will determine whether or not there is a case against the Commissioner of Police, for example, or anyone whose position is entrenched. There were others besides the Commissioner of Police. I mentioned the Commissioner of Police because there was some controversy concerning him as to whether or not he could reduce his term of office. Of course he can't. And so that we have to also be careful in doing this. Remember that the Prime Minister is Prime Minister. So sometimes when I get messages from the Cabinet Office, the first thing I do before I get before I look up, so I try to then I do something I didn't want to do. I really I have to make sure that I don't put the Prime Minister in any type of difficulties. So the first thing I do is say, Prime Minister, look at these councils, these people. I did that before you say something to me. So sometimes I have to do that. Don't try to do it. I remember one time in some that difficulty is I missed one of the bills. Sometimes you're very busy. They give you plenty of bills to sign, and I forget to sign some. So it's my fault. There's nothing that I like to do about it. The Queen can do her wrong, so the Prime Minister. So anyway, see, it's always difficult, to speak after. So he's one of our pioneer orators, and he puts his case over there, and then it's over again. And he's so meticulous again. And so it's difficult to follow when he comes to the over there. Or the others, they got everything right at the fingertips. I can rely on this good head. So anyway, so on one occasion, I think, I said I missed these bills, and then of course, I got some. I think it's something from the Cabinet Office which says that although I missed the bill, I can backdate it if I want to. Then they got that from the lawyers. So I said, tell you what, if the Attorney General will tell me I can backdate this bill, I will take that into consideration. And that was good. So of course, the Attorney General, so I thought of that one. I didn't have any more correspondence from Cabinet Office. Now these are you asked me, you didn't ask me what the Constitution was like. You asked me what my life was like.